Hello and welcome back to another Nanwar video. In today's video, I'll be counting down the top 5 games consoles of this year. I could have one of them last year, but there's no real point because there was 2 new ones out. Anyway, let's start. Coming in at number 5 on the list is a good old favourite of mine, the PlayStation Vita. Why is it at 5? Well, if I'd made this list last year, it would have been in place 4, maybe. It would have been in place 4. But there's been no games out for this year. And during E3, you could see the Sony doesn't want to kill it off. They haven't got the guts to kill it off. But at the same time, they don't really want to support it anymore. There'll be no more Sony official first-party games for the Vita. And as a Vita owner, someone who loves the Vita, that's sad news. They've truly now been overwhelmed by the mobile gaming through phones and tablets, and that's sad. In fact, even the PS Vita is even being beaten by the next candidate on this list. So, coming in at number 4 is the Nintendo Wii U. Yes, the Wii U. It's surprising it made it on the list at all, but Nintendo have been working hard, and then this year they haven't made too much of a loss. Either they've released a whole host of first-party games, and they've all been successful. Most notably, Mario Kart 8. That game scored on Metacritic, in the high 90s, and Bayonetta 2. They're really, really trying over Nintendo, and for that, they deserve to do well. And they deserve the Wii U to be the same success the original Wii was. But they've only got the real heart of family play. It's not really a machine for hardcore gamers, and the Wii never will be. And then again, it was never intended to be. So, therefore, it can only be place 4 on this list. And Mario Kart 8 got 88, ironically. Okay, moving on to number 3 on this list. The next item shows that what I said about the PS Vita isn't entirely true. Mobile gaming on mobile phones is getting more popular, but I reckon portable game consoles have still got a bit of an edge. Number 3 is the Nintendo 3DS. Like with the Wii U, Nintendo have been put a load of games out onto the 3DS this year as well. They've put Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Out, which was a huge success. That came out on Wii U as well. But I don't know where they're coming from really with these games on the basis of they seem to release the games on the 3DS first, then the Wii U later. Surely if you would do it the other way round, oh well, that doesn't really matter much. The 3DS is placed 3 on this list. It is a really quite robust system. It can be used by people who are by children. It's built for children primarily. But it's also, it's got iconic characters on, so it still captures the heart of hardcore gamers. I play on a 3DS every now and again, a bit of Mario. There's also, games aimed at females. There's things like, and I don't wish to stereotype and categorise, but Tamagotchi Life, then again I enjoyed that as well, and Animal Crossing. These are all, it's a platform, a universal platform for everyone, opposed to things like the Vita and the big sort of 2 home consoles. Okay, well that's place 3 on the list. We're now into the top 2. These next 2 are extremely obvious what the 2 potential consoles will be for these 2. But let's leave it in suspense a bit longer. Let's go and have a look at some of the notable mentions. Okay, right, and now we are back with the top 2 on this list. If I were to make this last year, there'll be a huge gap between these two. But this year, the gap is much smaller. In fact, it's not really number 2, it's more like 2.7. Because this number 2 is so close to number 1 now. It's absolutely insane. So number 2 is the Microsoft Xbox One. Actually, before I go into that, I probably should point out, I haven't, as you probably now realised, put any of the last generation consoles on here. So there aren't a PS3 or PS2, PS3 or 360 on here, because there's no point really. The games come out on both platforms, and there's other things. But then again, they were both in the notable mention section, because they're both still clinging on okay. Anyway, yes, so the Xbox One. Why is this number 2? Why isn't it number 1? Well, my main reason is Microsoft keeps changing their mind. Right from launch, they keep changing their mind. It'll be always online. They changed their mind because people didn't like it. Sometimes they also said you can't really pre-own games. They changed their mind because people didn't like it. Sure, you have to appeal to the customer, but if they kept all these things in place, it would be next generation, moving closer to a hard drive-less future. You know, it's all on the cloud. Another thing I really didn't like about the Xbox One from launch and right to now is the way Microsoft deal with things. It's also the same with PC. When Windows 8 came out, they had quite a negative response. Instead of fixing the things people didn't like, they forced it on people more and more. You know, they didn't try and fix the errors, like there's no start menu on it. We didn't like it. They didn't add a mode in for that. They had a button to take you back to the new Metro, not the old classical start menu. They're forcing Windows 8. That's what I don't like. When Xbox One came out and it's running Windows 8, all I can hope is when Windows 10 comes out and it's all meant to be this new universal platform, hopefully that will fix it and they'll take the entirely interface off. It's strange, feels really weird to say, but the Xbox 360's dashboard is an improvement over the Xbox One's user interface. However, on the positive side, there's many games that they've got now on Xbox One, which make me feel I'm quite jealous of. And it makes me feel not quite as proud to be a Sony player and a player of PlayStation, because they got things like Forza, which I really want to play, and I'm quite upset about. But again, it's owned by Microsoft, not much we can do about that. And there's things like they've got Sunset Overdrive. Then again, that has been said that could come to PS4 and PC in the future, as it isn't 100% owned by Microsoft. They've got Rise, then again that's on PC now, so I could play that at some point. And Halo, the Master Chief Collection does look pretty good for us. Then again, we've got Destiny on PlayStation. Anyway, enough of the console war theme. This year's number 1 platform, which you probably now guessed, is the almighty Sony PlayStation 4. Okay, like I did with Xbox, let's start with some negatives. You can't turn the light off on the controller. That's annoying when you're trying to watch telly or not telly, that's Xbox. I mean, trying to watch it's a DVD or a catch-up TV. The light bar can't be turned off unless you turn the whole controller off. That's reasonably annoying. I really can't think of anything else. The themes work well on PlayStation. Okay, the big thing I'm not very happy with in the moment is the exclusives. Obviously, because Microsoft's sort of tailing behind a bit, they're trying as hard as they can to catch up. That's inevitable. They're going to do that, and they have done that. And Microsoft have got things like Tomb Raider and exclusive deals. But then Sony's so far out in the lead, they're not even trying anymore, and that's quite annoying. Like Drive Club, I was meant to come out alongside it at launch. It had me a launch title of November last year. It then got pushed back to sort of May, June of this year. It then got pushed back again to October the 10th. And then when that came out, then the free demo version didn't work, and there were server errors, and the game was almost a year late. That's the bottom line. Then again, I suppose that's not as bad as GT Online heists. They're still not here after a year and a bit. Anyway, however, as much as we're lacking things on exclusives in the moment, next year we've got things to look forward to, like Uncharted 4, We've got this year, we had last week in fact, we had Little Big Planet 3, which I'm looking forward to playing. A lot of developers are really embracing Sony and PlayStation as the way to go. There's so many exclusive things you only get on PlayStation at the moment. And like with Far Cry, for example, there was keys in there, so you could give sort of, I think it was 10 friends? I think it was 10 friends a sort of demo of the game at no extra cost, which wasn't on Xbox. Also, the controller on PlayStation, when you're playing games like GTA, which I play quite a lot of, as you well know, when you're aiming on GTA with any gun, if you swipe on the touchpad, the last thrown weapon, so like a grenade or a sticky bomb or tear gas, will be thrown when you swipe up. So it's a lot more intuitive than it is on the Xbox One. But we all have our favourite platforms. It doesn't matter what platform you choose, as long as you enjoy playing on that system. It's entirely down to your personal choice. And at the end of the day, if that's a Wii U, or if that's an Xbox One, or a PS4, or PC, or even a smartphone game, even though I don't really like them very much, it's down to personal choice. Whatever anyone says, that can't be knocked, really. Anyway, that's my countdown of this year in gaming and the platforms which have highlighted this year out. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and comment down below. And why don't you write your own personal top 5 list? I'm very intrigued to see what people put. And until next time, from the Nanwar Empire, it's goodbye.